more. And it's Natural Resources Day and also Park and Recreation Day. And what a better way to cap off the evening of programming here than to have two of the officials from this day on our show. On my left is Rudy Teschen. He is the manager of the DNR exhibit here at the Wisconsin State Fair. And Buzz Bizadny is next to him. He is the Secretary of State Department of Natural Resources. Welcome, both of you. My first question is to Rudy. How long have you been involved with the DNR?
Well, this is my 30th year with the DNR, Bob, and actually the 12th year with the Department of Natural Resources exhibit here at State Fair. I was here from 63 to 74 and took a little hiatus, and now I'm back again this year and loving every minute of it. It's a great fair.
Now, I mentioned you were the head of the DNR exhibit. What exactly is your job?
Well, to coordinate the exhibits, we have representatives from each one of the bureaus and functions in this department here to talk to the public so that they can find out about DNR, about asking questions on hunting and fishing and water management and air pollution, and all the other exhibits that we have here to show people and to answer their questions specifically about what they feel about DNR and what we can do to help them.
Now, Buzz, you're the Secretary of the State Department of Natural Resources. What are you doing here way away from Madison and all that today?
Well, Bob, I travel all over the state continuously throughout the week, and I do spend at least a day or so every year at the State Fair to talk with the various folks that come to see our exhibits and to see what's going on. This year we had a little different twist in that this afternoon Secretary Ausman from Agriculture and I had a little program to talk in, and our theme this year is DNR and Ag Partners in Managing Wisconsin's Natural Resources.
Now, how many people have been coming out to see you today? Have there been a lot of people concerned about this showing up?
Well, I think each year you'll see that DNR exhibit. We have a 2.5 acre exhibit here. It's a little oasis in the middle of a lot of asphalt and a lot of other types of things. And folks come to not only get a little rest, but to see what DNR does for the folks in the state of Wisconsin.
Now, maybe you could get us a little into this. What is the Department of Natural Resources doing? What are some of the activities that tie in with the DNR here in Wisconsin?
Well, we're an agency that manages the various aspects of the environment. We're an enforcer, and we also are a regulator of the air, the land, and the water resources of this state. A lot of our concerns relate to human health and welfare, and also to environmental health and welfare. Certainly the air you breathe, and folks in the Milwaukee area are very concerned about it with the ozone problems we get into sometime in summer. And here at the fair this year we have several different types of air monitors to show the folks what they're breathing. And I think that's one of the more exciting exhibits that folks are seeing this year. We've got a lot of other things too, certainly as you come into the fair and see our fish booth and our endangered resources programs.
The bears and everything that we had.
Right, we've got some live exhibits in addition to a lot of other things, and with the variety of things that we show, it's a very attractive type of thing that folks like to see.
Now, Rudy, are other state fairs involved with their separate district of natural resources, or are you the only one that comes to the fair and sets up and has a nice land?
Oh no, other states are very actively involved. In fact, it was 1974 we entered the International Association of Fairs contest, and the DNR exhibit won first place. That year we featured Indians, the woodland Indian, in the relationship to the woods, and that was enough to have first place. So every year we try to change the theme and to show the people of the state that we're very broad in our concepts of what resources are and what we have to do with them. And it's one of the few agencies that touches everybody just about every minute of their life.
How has this exhibit changed through the years?
We improved it. 2 years ago we built 2 brand new buildings on the grounds. The McCormick Center, which is named for one of our first female board members, Lydia McCormick. Victoria McCormick, excuse me. But that gave us a chance to build some new fish tanks and have a larger fish exhibit, and also new buildings to put our other exhibits in to show the folks. We have the grounds, as Buzz says, 2.5 acres. We've planted many varieties of the species of trees and shrubs found in Wisconsin. Actually, 1948 is when we started this area, so that some of the trees are quite large.
It has grown. quite considerably.
Yes, we had all 57 varieties of native trees of the state here at one time, but there's only about 30 left because of the growing conditions that are here.
Now, Buzz, how has the attitudes of the general public changed over the years according to natural resources? How has their attitude toward the subject changed?
People are more concerned with their environment, certainly as we uncover more problems. I think one of the biggest concerns today is groundwater. And as our department samples both public and private water supply and find more problems with it, when people cannot drink the water, it really calls attention. And so we are in a very large monitoring program, and over the next number of years, I'm sure people will become more concerned with one of their basic elements of life.
Do you get a lot of complaints at your office about maybe the condition of the water, the condition of the land or something?
Well, as people become more aware, certainly they don't complain, but they raise concerns. And I think we all raise that concern of what we are leaving for the next generation. That's one of our major concerns in DNR. What are we leaving for the next generation? And certainly with the way we manage all of our resources, it's going to be very important.
Okay, now Rudy, if we could start that tape right now. We visited the DNR earlier this morning. If you'd like to talk a little bit about who decides what goes into these exhibits that we're about to see.
Okay, right now you're seeing a shot of the little theater in the woods, and we're switching to our trout, which are in our stream, which is not a native stream, by the way. It's man-made, but it's here to demonstrate. This is an aerator we had to put in because the overchlorination of the city of water in West Allis were killing the fish. That's a wood duck house, by the way. And this is a model osprey nest, something that we put up for maintaining that endangered species, the osprey, so we help them with the nesting sites because a lot of the wolf trees, as they're called, which we're using as nesting sites, are being cut down. The Children's Discovery area is a very fine building for people to go in. We have snakes and a kestrel there, which is one of the hawk family, as well as a touch and feel place for the people to go in. And when I say youngsters, I mean youngsters from 6 to 60, because everybody loves to go in. And there's a coyote here, which we got in cooperation with the Milwaukee Zoo, a baby coyote, just to show that these animals do exist in the state. We have black bear cubs, which come from the state. Those animals, of course, are native to Wisconsin, and there's a lot of controversy about them. A lot of people fear the bear and hear things that are going on out west about the bear. We do not have those kinds of problems, but I don't want anybody to feel that they can go up and pet a bear in Wisconsin. It just shouldn't be done.
Not advisable.
There we're showing some of the nursery stock that's available to people, and tree applications are due by December for people who want to reforest their wood lots. And we have a forester in every county who sets up a management plan for people in order to grow trees and bring them to fruition. And that was a shot there of the deer fawn.
This is what I find fascinating for the little kids right
Oh,
here.
yes, they love to come in and talk to Smokey the Bear. It's one of the most successful programs, I think. We find that the 3rd and the 5th graders are the best children, age-wise, to talk to for Smokey Bear. They go home and tell the folks, and they really let them know when they're not burning trash properly in the backyard or they have an illegal burner. And they go through Smokey Bear Schoolhouse and they receive a certificate when they get out, and they're very proud of that. You see these youngsters walking around the fair, and they sure want to preserve those and take them home. So as you see, there's many activities. This is a park-like setting that we have on the grounds, and as Buzz said, it's 2.5 acres. So there's a lot to do here. You can take probably a good 45 minutes to an hour to go through the exhibit and see it all.
About how many different animals do you have in captivity here?
Well, right now I think there's only 6 the birds and mammals out there right now, plus the fish species that are there. And we don't intend to bring all of the varieties of animals we do have, but representative varieties to show that, for instance, one of the big programs this year is endangered resources. We have the checkoff system on our income tax form because the endangered resources need money in order to protect them, and that's both the plant and animal life in endangered species. We feel it's a very valuable and viable program. The state funding hasn't come through that we needed, so we decided to go into this tax checkoff and volunteer system of bringing monies in It's a good cause, and there's a lot of endangered resources that do need watching in the state, and that program is a new program, and we're hoping it really gets off the ground. And we donated a lot of time to this exhibit this year to get that message out to the people.
Now, you just mentioned the state of Wisconsin. Buzz, how are other states coping with the problems they have in natural resources? How do we rank, first of all, in our problems?
Well, I think I'm a little credulous, but I think Wisconsin's number one in a lot of the things that it does. Certainly, we were among the top states in the nation to achieve our water quality standards last year, which was set by the federal and local state governments. We've got a lot of things to do yet, such as air pollution control, but we're now launching on a very intensive recycling program in the state. And I think over the next number of years, we will see a lot more of that going on as well. Not only with our bottles and cans and papers, but our industrial waste as well.
How are young people becoming involved in this? Are they taking to it?
We've got a program going with the Department of Public Instruction right now to get more conservation and natural resource programs in the school systems again, so that the young folks can understand and make some decisions for themselves, because certainly the young people of today are going to be the voters of tomorrow, and they should be well informed so they can make the right decisions for themselves and how they want to live over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Now, that's an overall look at how the young people, what have you seen so far this year at your exhibit as far who's catching on, who's more interested, the older generation or the younger kids?
Well, we gear our exhibits to probably what you'd call the 7th grade level, and that doesn't mean that you have necessarily a 7th grade intelligence, but we feel that the people do not know enough about natural resources. Our educational programs have to start at a basic level, so that the youngsters, I guess, are the ones that are picking it up, and they're the ones that are dragging mom and dad over to the exhibit and saying, hey, take a look at this. But on the other hand, there's a lot of parents that are saying, hey, you better take a look at this. I remember a long time ago when we used to be able to do this and we can't now. So the overall impression I'm getting is that people are aware and becoming more aware, and I'm very happy about that. That's what it's all about for here.
Now, this is Natural Resources Day here at the fair. And Buzz, I just wanted to ask you, you said you'd help me out a little bit. Jane Adams was here earlier with the, she was with the Park and Rec Company. Now, can you explain a little bit about what they're doing today?
The Wisconsin State Parks and Recreation Association is a private organization, but we work with that organization very well. In fact, I met with Jane just last week to see how we can find additional money for the budget for the local parks program, because certainly it's not only state parks, but it's local parks that are very important to people, and this organization is here to help promote the cause of the local park and recreation system.
What are your long-term goals? Do you have any?
Well, we have a lot of long-term goals. Certainly our major goals is to manage and protect the environment that we live in here in the state. But we have a lot of long-range goals that relate to air pollution control and water pollution control and long-term forest management. Certainly when you talk of long range, when we plant a tree, it takes 50 years or more before that tree is harvested. So there's a real long-range program, because the tree that's planted today, many of us may never see before it's harvested.
Right.
But we have to look down the road, and certainly in our fish and wildlife programs too.
And really quickly, Rudy, how do you look for the exhibit here at the fair to change in the future? Any goals?
Oh, absolutely. We want to upgrade our exhibits to give a higher level of education to the people, because they are becoming more aware. We're going to do things like build a roof over the little theater area so that it'll be more controlled as far as lighting is concerned. We can have better programming there, and always upgrading the exhibits so that we're keeping up to date with what the people should be knowing.
Okay, I'd like to thank both of you gentlemen for taking time out in this very busy day and coming by and giving us this insight on the DNR. Thank you very much.
We enjoyed it.
Right now we're going to take a look at a segment done by myself and community programmer Jim Karofsky. We visited a horse pulling contest at the Coliseum just 2 nights ago, and we'll take a look at that tape right now. Hey, we're here at the Coliseum. I'm with Carl Winger. He is from Waterloo. Carl, welcome to our show.
Glad to be here.
We're at the horse pulling contest here at the Coliseum at State Fair. You want to explain a little bit about what this contest involves?
Well, it consists of these men have got a lot of money invested in horses, and they have to be 3,200 pounds or less when they weigh in. And the object of the game is they got to pull it 26 feet 6 inches, and they get 3 tries. They also get attempted three tries. 3 tries when they hook. And once the machine is stopped, that's considered a pull. There's no slapping of the horses, no foul language or anything. And as the contest grows longer, you're going to see that more weight is added, and then from then on, as the time goes on, the numbers will change up there on that machine, and then it'll bear down to about 3 teams. Well, I can tell you, I guess I go to these contests, and there's 16 teams in here. And right now, I'll tell you that team that's number 1, I predict him to be number 1 tonight. But if he won't be number 1, I will guarantee you that he'll be 2 or 3, and he won't be any less than that.
Okay, now the 2550, the number's up there right now. That's how much weight he's carrying right now?
Well, that's eliminator. See, that's a resistor. See? The object is, as you'll see the contest progresses, you're going to see it, that the weight will be increased. Well, that's called a dynameter. Well, as the weight, the resistance, there's more weight, the horses have to hit it. Well, that comes back, and after a while, it'll be like 2 horses are pulling 16 plows about 6 inches deep, and that's some weight.
How high does it go up? What's the record?
The record down here in the machine, the machine is about 37.75, I believe, or 37.50. It just about was my friend that pulls here, Bud Ward. He just about broke the record. He does hold the record with his team on one of these machines in the state of Wisconsin.
And how many horses are entered in this contest?
Well, tonight I would say there's about 15 or 16 teams. There's about 16 teams.
Okay, well, thank you for taking your time and giving us a little insight.
Thank you, too, for letting me have the opportunity.
Okay, we're back here live at the fair. We're in the South Exhibit Hall, and Rudy Teschen, manager of the DNR exhibit here at the fair, is back with us, and joining us is Dennis Yackers. He is with the Parks and Recreation Association here. And welcome, Dennis. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me in, Bob.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your involvement, what your job involves?
Okay. Well, I work with the Department of Natural Resources in Madison, and I am the environmental education specialist for the department. And one of our roles that we get involved with in our department is Natural Resources Day here at State Fair. So I work in setting up this program that we have one day every year at State Fair.
Now, you're working around the little kids a lot also. You're gearing the DNR to come a little closer to the younger people. How are they picking up as far as you're concerned?
I think that when you work with the young people, you're really working with an audience that's very interested, and that's why we feel it's very important to develop exhibits and programs that get the young children's attention. I think the first thing we really have to do in working with natural resources is to make people aware. That's a primary step. And I think with the young ones, we're really trying to make them aware. So we try to develop our programs with exhibits and presenters that will attract that young mind.
Now, Rudy, besides having him here this day, what is the DNR doing with the Park and Rec all around to get involved?
Well, part of the program today is just a culmination of a lot of work that Dennis has gone through and working with the local school systems throughout the state. I'd like him to tell you more about the poster contest, and I understand you took some footage of that. But that's a very important part. Everything culminates today, but the work goes on all year round, and I don't want Dennis to sell himself short either. He put together little theater programs this year, which is a very big job. And he's got 99 programs of people talking about fishing and hunting and reptiles and endangered species and loons, and it's just a marvelous variety of programs, and Dennis should be getting the credit for that. It's one of those things that they can do here, and as Dennis says, one of those things that hooks the kids. They really like to see what's going on.
Dennis, you want to explain a little bit about how you got involved in the DNR Little Theater program?
Well, what we try to do with the Little Theater is that we feel that we have some very interesting people that are out there working for the Department of Natural Resources, working in a number of areas that are of interest to people and interest to ourselves because we live in the environment. And we feel that we should share these people's experience in the field with the general public. The public has many questions about what we're doing and how we manage resources, so we try to bring in our top people in the areas of fisheries and wildlife and forestry and air and water and land to come in and explain what they do so that people can find more about it.
How has the attendance been toward these presentations?
Well, I went and looked at the schedule right before I came over here, and we keep the numbers, and we've had approximately anywhere from 50 people to 160 people at all our presentations. We have them, 9 of them a day over the 11 days of the fair, starting at 11 in the morning, going to 7 o'clock at night, and everyone has a particular interest, and they're always loaded with some good questions for our resource.
That's great that people are getting involved and getting interested. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, as I understand, 45 busloads of people came in today from different park and rec divisions around the state and from in Illinois. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Well, one of the things that's special about Natural Resources Day is we try to focus on a particular theme, and this year's theme was Parks and Recreation. So we decided the Wisconsin Parks and Recreation Association and the Illinois Parks and Recreation Association decided that they were going to have a various amount of contests that would bring their two groups together in some really good fun and to really enjoy the things that they enjoy most, and that's their parks and recreating. So
very interesting today.
Oh, they had some really interesting contests like a cow chip throwing contest and a melting the ice cube contest, and I think there was a trivia contest between Wisconsin and Illinois going on most of the afternoon. So I think what it really shows is the camaraderie that people can have when they have a common theme, and those being our tremendous parks and recreation resources we have in these two states.
Now, notice everybody made a little noise and you mentioned cow chip throwing. I was almost hit by one of those shooting it today. So
yeah, it takes a little practice to be good at it.
Okay, we're going to roll a tape right now of some of the things that took place at the Activity Dome. And if you'd like to give us a little narration about this. There's the tape starts.
This was the awards contest. Over 65 schools participated. Close to 6,000 posters from 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders came in, and we chose these 19 winners. We had 9 what we call primary or top-notch posters and 10 honorable mentions. So there was 3 from each of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and then 10 honorable mentions. We also had many exhibits there focusing on a number of things dealing with natural resources. This is the Wildlife Animal Rehabilitation Cooperative out of the Milwaukee area, which works a lot with rehabilitating young animals and injured animals that they find around this area of the state. And it's very important to help wildlife in many cases. That bear is a blind hawk, and it no longer can exist in the wild, but it can make a very important educational tool for young people. And when you have wild animals, it really brings in the public, and it is something alive, will attract attention. It's something that people can speak about and ask
kids. I know
little kids, even more than the big kids. One of the other things we try to highlight is some of our Department of Natural Resources parks and recreation areas. That was the Bong Recreation Area down near Kansasville, down near west of Racine and Kenosha. And Bong is a state recreation area and has a tremendous variety of recreational opportunities. Hot air ballooning, pheasant hunting, duck hunting, bicycling, hiking, hang gliding, just a great variety of opportunities in the metropolitan areas. And that's a big focus of our parks program, is trying to bring in those things. The poster contest that we have is sponsored by Clemens Sausage. This is the 6th year. This year's theme was Discover Your Parks, and those 19 posters were really terrific. That was the first place winner from the 3rd grade division, and as you can see, 3rd grader has a lot of talent. It looks like it's going to be a real budding artist for the state of Wisconsin.
About how many kids entered posters?
Oh, we figured that with 65 schools and an average of about 30 kids per classroom in that, it's just hard to estimate, but we think somewhere around 6,000 or 7,000 posters. This was an exhibit by the Wisconsin Parks and Recreation Association, telling them about all the different types of park and recreation opportunities in the state. This was from the local Milwaukee area. They have a Parks People group, which is a volunteer group, and I think that's the key to parks. To help meet a lot of our needs in parks and park areas and recreation areas, we really need the help of volunteer groups. And that whole exhibit today was had people there from the volunteer group. This was an exhibit on our Wisconsin Ice Age Trail. Again, an incorporated nonprofit group, and what they're trying to do is to set up a 1,000-mile hiking trail along the terminus or the edge of where the last glacier came into Wisconsin.
Now, where in Wisconsin was this?
Well, it's almost through the whole state. It starts up in the Door County area and then heads south west towards the Kettle Moraine, and then back across the southern part of the state and up through Madison and Devil's Lake and the central area, and then it cuts off towards the west towards Minnesota near St. Croix Falls. Also at the exhibit there was the State Historical Society, and really historical sites are an important part of our natural resources, and it tells a lot about the people and what they've done in the state.
Now, before we have you bring out the posters that you brought us today, which ages again were involved in the poster contest?
The grades that were involved were 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, so if I can remember my teaching days, 3rd graders would approximately be about 9 years old, so we had 9, 10, and 11-year-olds that were involved in the poster contest.
Okay, and could we see the winning posters?
Sure. We saw one of these on the tape, but this is the winner from the 3rd grade, the first place poster, and this comes from Juan Benilio, and he's in grade 3 at the Fontana Elementary School in Fontana, Wisconsin, and that's down near Lake Geneva.
Okay.
This is the first place poster from the 4th grade, and this is by Roy David Belater, and he's from Watertown, Wisconsin, from Waukesha Christian Academy. And you can see he has a moose in his artwork, and we do have a couple of sightings of moose way up in the northern part of the state. So I guess he's hoping that we do have a lot more moose coming into the state of Wisconsin. So that's our grade 4 poster. And I guess I'm going to play favorites to this one. This is the grade 5 one, and I guess the Norwegians did have a lot to do with Wisconsin. And here's a Norwegian ship coming, and it says, "Discover your parks." And on it has forests and bird watching and baseball and trails and fishing and camping in that. And of course, there are many people that had a great impact here in Wisconsin, many different ethnic groups and nationalities. But
Who did that one, didn't it?
this one here was done by Shane Peterson and from St. Joseph School in Cadott, Wisconsin. So as you can see, we had winners from all over the state.
Well, we'd like to congratulate all the contestants that entered, and we'd like to thank both of you gentlemen for appearing at our show this evening. You really added a lot to the show at Natural Resources Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
And we're a couple minutes away. Frank Zappa is on the main grandstand tonight, followed by the fireworks display here at the fair. And we'll see you tomorrow from Jones Intercable.